You're on.
Okay, hi everybody, I'm Terry Mode, and I'm a Scratchboard artist. My wet canvas name is Celtic Elf, and I want to thank everybody for letting me be here playing with all the grown-ups. And the other thing before I get started is I would like to thank Mary Shaw of Heartland Printworks for letting us use her facility for our workshops. She has been wonderful. And Harold is to blame for this demo today, so if you don't like it, take it out on him.
You
I
can
was
take it.
totally afraid to use color on my work until Harold's brilliant comment to me one day was, I think you learn to use color by using color. So that worked. And I'm doing this because I want everybody who's afraid to use color to know, if I can do it, you can do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's easy.
Yeah. Nothing to it.
We've heard that before at this workshop.
Right, you know, it's like Martin's easy work. Now, I do not hate ampersand inks, no matter what I've said in the past. But it's not enough for me. One thing is I like inks that show the pigment numbers so that I can have some consistency no matter what brand I use. And I like more variety. Sure, I mix, but I like more variety. So the ones I use, basically, I use the F&W and the golden fluid acrylics. The golden fluid acrylics have more polymer in them than the F&W inks. But I got them first, and I've learned to use them. Of course, I use the ampersand inks, and what I dearly love to use are my ink pencils, because literally the color is so vibrant.
Can you show us the front of that box or the
Yes.
packaging?
Okay. Here we go. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. And they do lay well over the other inks. And that's the main thing I've had to learn, was the order to use them. When I do skin, my primary color is the yellow ochre, which I have in acrylic. And it's easy to lay acrylic over the inks, but not vice versa. And the main problem I have is if I want to lay a drawing over the inks and over the acrylics, it does not take transfer paper. So you either have to do like I did on these boards and lay your base down and then paint and scratch the excess off, or you have to be a good free-handed drawer, which I'm not really. So I have decent imagination, but I do use 4 erasers to every pencil I use. I do use a lot of erasers. So
Oh, could you tell us the chart you have? How does that help you?
one thing, it lets me have a comparison of what the colors are in the different brands. A lot of brands may just say yellow on them. And in all honesty, if I had one thing, if I could beg ampersand to do, it would be to put the light fatness and the color pigment on the bottles. Because just saying yellow doesn't let me know if it's a lemon yellow, if it's a blue yellow, or if it's an orange yellow. So at a glance, I can compare, actually reach for what I want. Such as the ampersand carmine is almost identical to the Inktense fuchsia. So you can't always tell by the name that's on an item what the color really is. And I generally just reach. And actually I did this more so that I could show people what colors I actually do use. And I have other inks at home, brands I don't know, but they're buried. So When I get them uncovered, I'll experiment with them on the boards.
And how much do you charge for one of those?
One of them is, it's called, here you go. After the demo, it is yours. Okay. The two things with color that people have asked me about are my skin tones. And I've always had to say, well, I'm not really sure how I got it. Because once I start painting, I zone out, I reach for the colors, and then I'm not really sure what I've used. So I've tried to think of what I use, and I made notes up here on what I generally do use. And the abstract backgrounds that I do, which will be first. Now, this is just a piece of matting board, and when I cut my mats, I generally paint on the scrap pieces of matting board. It's acid-free, takes acrylic really well. So this is just to show that sometimes when I have a messed up board and I have leftover inks, I'll just cover the whole clay board with whatever I have left over, and later pull it out and decide what will come of it. Okay. Now the ones I have here are in 3 stages of development. This is one that I did post, and once I posted it, I realized how bad the light was in my house. Because this background was the most garish yellow. I mean, it was really bad, so I'm still toning it down. So I still need to go through the background and with a very thin layer of sepia or some neutral color and tone it down enough that you can see the primary characters. But that's about all I have left on that one. This one, I did the background. I had well, when we did our recognition challenge, I did like 3 different crops of the primate that we were doing. And then realized later I really could not clean the board well for the ones I didn't use. So I just splashed my color on and played with it and decided to see what image came out of it. And it's a tree spirit that I planned to bring leaves around his hands and around the flute. Now this one was the most messed up board. And so I just laid the primary layer of paint on it last night until I got too tired to paint.
Are you diluting your paints or are you using them fairly concentrated?
No, the inks, the Eversand inks, I use concentrated. Everything else I dilute.
With water?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I haven't tried using alcohol.
It's
But
fantastic.
is it? Is it really good? Got me. It's been a lot of years, Martin.
Good one, Martin.
But aside from that, a helpful hint, especially if you're painting on light colored Formica or a light colored table and your phthalo blue gets away from you. And I don't know if any other artist has ever had the experience of phthalo blue all over your house on anything white. My dog got his tail on the phthalo blue one day and all the walls. Okay. Well, last night I got the phthalo blue ink on the hotel counter that I was painting. But we have learned a formula that will take it out of almost anything. Use alcohol wipes, toothpaste, and baking soda. That's my helpful hint for the day. My hint from Eloise.